Welcome back, YouTube. So in this video, I wanted to address one of the, I guess, one of the most popular things that's going on when it comes down to what's going on in the community. Um, the Dogecoin has a lot of good things in the community, and I think that overall, with the current events going on and stuff like that, it's causing some panic as well. Because I'm seeing the comments and stuff, and it's one of the reasons why I'm very transparent about overlaying macro and micro and comparing the two because I think it's very important to do both. And I wanted to address this because I know that a lot of the um, people in the community, a lot of the leaders and stuff like that, they it's dangerous. So when it comes down to this is one of the things I advocate for, and I wanted to make this specifically saying that a lot of the um, abilities, whether it's techniques, TA, stuff like that, you have to learn these things for yourself and not just depend on like YouTubers. Because I see the panic that people are reaching out to me now, and even just stating like, "Oh my God, it's all." What's going on, how did this happen and stuff like that. And that's why for those of you that follow me on a regular basis, you know that we've been talking about this. We've anticipated this dip because we look at macros and stuff like that too. But unfortunately, that's not the status quo overall in the market. So I think that when that's not the case, this is how people end up getting hurt. So um, when you look at like when you factor in like TA and stuff like that, just make sure that you're looking for actual reasons for the sentiments that are being pushed. I'm a huge advocate for Dogecoin's utility, and this doesn't just apply to Dogecoin, but overall, I'm a huge advocate for Dogecoin's utility and the growth and stability of the coin, not just blind catalysts for Dogecoin to go up or these spikes and stuff like that. Because again, that's not sustainable, and you're just going to end up pissing a bunch of people off if that's all you have is just a series of spikes. And again, it's not going to be sustainable, so it's just going to cause people to not be encouraged going forward. So when it comes down to this, I wanted to make this video so that people are just make sure that you have a reliable source. Now, I'm not saying don't get information from YouTube. Obviously, I'm on there. There are a few people that I do watch. You just kind of have to vet your information, right? Trust but verify. So and I'll make a separate video as far as getting into like what's going on with like Russia and Ukraine and the effects on it and stuff like that. Hold on. Do I have a video learning how to invest, like how you do and where to invest? I make a series of videos. I'm doing a series on like the psychology, but on my channel, if you go to my homepage, you'll see like the video that plays automatically. I go over the cycles of the flow of money like into and out of the coins. And if you go down to, it'll say if you're new to Dogecoin, like start here. I go over the cycles a little bit more in depth, and I also give you the proper way to like DCA and a DCA calculator and stuff like that in the video. So it really just helps. Because I believe as far as like teaching people how to fish and stuff like that. So it's not just me coming up with a new idea every day. Oh, how do I get views and stuff like that? So that's why I give you the things that I look at. That's one of the reasons why, and a lot of times my videos are unpopular. If I say something like last year before the SNL, I'll say 50 to 80% correction. Not popular. Even this year I was saying that okay, well the moon launch is great, but it's marketing. Not going to do anything for stability of the coin. Not a popular idea. So I share my thoughts and beliefs with the coin just because I don't believe in just selling people, dreams. Because again, I believe that going forward, a lot of people are going to have to answer for the stuff that they put out on YouTube, and that's why I believe there are a lot of false prophets. I mentioned this in the post that I made earlier today. I believe there's a lot of people that I would question if they even had a brokerage portfolio before this movement. And and unfortunately, a lot of times people take advice from them, and they end up, with their portfolios messed up. And sometimes if you don't have the money, or if you listen to someone who's saying, this is going to go to the moon, or whatever the case may be, you end up over leveraged. I understand that you may not have the money to average down. You may just be stuck in a position deep in red, or you invested money that you don't have to invest. So, I just felt like people just need to, I want to say, just be thoughtful with where they're getting their information from. I think it just makes more sense. And when we say, like red days are ahead, I made a series of videos on this over the course of the few weeks, but there's a lot, this year is going to be rough. So we have some wild swings in the market. And again, this is everything that's going on with Russia, Ukraine, that negative pressure, that fear. We still have the Fed and stuff that, inflation doesn't go away, regardless of what happens with Ukraine, Russia, all that kind of stuff like that. Everything that we talked about that's going on for next month, like the Feds and the interest rates and all kind of stuff like that, those are numbers and math. Like, that is indisputable. It does not go away. That's still going to have to be dealt with. So we may just have a compounding effect. We're going to have to look at the numbers. And as soon as I get a better idea, I'll release those. But my numbers have not changed. I gave the prediction a few months ago. I stated about the resistance levels, 12 cents, 6 cents, possibly getting the break pumps between 8 and 10 because of the oversold value. And this is something that actually just so happened to fulfill itself. We did get the brakes pumped at around 8 to 10 cents, which is phenomenal. So, so we just kind of have to, depending on what your DCA is, I say that it's best if you can catch it around 12 cents, or certainly on those breakdowns. That'll be amazing to get your DCA there. Because think about it. Let's say you had 1,000 coins, or let's say you weren't in Dogecoin. You were just waiting to average in, and you were able to catch that 10 cent. So we talked about this a while ago. I'm going to go over it again tonight. When it comes down to overshooting, especially when overreacting in the market. But if you'd have got your DCA around 10 cents, Dogecoin, last time I looked, like a few minutes ago, it was back up to its support line, which is a little over 12 cents. So you'd have been already 20% in the profit just by taking action on those coins or that DCA that you would have purchased at 10 cents. So this is what I mean by paying attention to the macro and saving, putting some money aside, and giving yourself the opportunity to capitalize off of some of the negative pressure that's putting yourself there. That's in the market. So, and not just going in. So this is macro and micro and macro. You have to pay attention to both. Bitcoin predictions. I still believe Bitcoin is going into the 20,000s. I don't care what no one says. My numbers have retired me, so I don't care what no one says, or I stand by those numbers. I'm not changing them. So I have the ranges. So yeah, I can't pinpoint it like 100%, but I have my ranges, and I still say Bitcoin is going to go below 30,000. Dogecoin is obviously, it's going to react a lot faster. So a lot of the numbers and stuff that I called a couple months ago have already come into play. But regardless of what those short terms or the spikes and these corrections, I don't care how many green candles Bitcoin has, I'm standing by my numbers. Let's see. Good afternoon. I have a little cash and I already hold a large amount of Dogecoin that I bought at 26 cents. And I'm wondering, would you advise me to DCA into Doge to bring my average down, or wait? If it's possible, I always say you can't go wrong with the lower DCA, right? The lower your DCA is, the more average, the more opportunities you have, more leverage you have. So you can never go wrong with you never be like, oh my God, my DCA is too low. Like, no one, I never heard anyone say that. So if you can, I would, just because, especially now, because we don't know if Doge is going to hold itself in some of those ranges. So 12 or 13 cents, Doge could very well react to everything that's going on and have that decline down to like 8 cents, 10 cents, 6 cents, and it may just get rejected, right? And once it gets rejected, it just may bounce back up to around 12 or 13 cents. So if you're able to grab some of those, bring that DCA down, you're just going to put yourself in a position to be more profitable. And there's nothing wrong with that ever. So I'll never, I can't tell you what to do, but in my opinion, there's no such thing as a DCA that's too low. I'd go for it if you have the opportunity to make that happen. So do you think Doge are scared right now? Do you think investors are scared right now and they're selling all their stocks in crypto? If so, where are they putting their money? Yeah, typically when you have uncertainty, especially you have a lot of money and it's not necessarily about making the money, you just want to, kind of like hedge against inflation. Mostly they'll put their money into something with like a guaranteed return, whether that be like bonds or they'll start investing like in precious metals, gold and silver. Typically that'll be a hedge against inflation. And depending on if you are smart enough with how you invest in gold and silver, in the event of some catastrophic event, you can also move it around with you or just have it readily accessible. And you're not depending on the banks or a brokerage to give you your money, just in case there's some wild sanctions, wild fluctuations in the world economy, and you have a run on the banks or a freeze of assets and stuff like that. I don't want to put that out there right now, but people typically will start pulling their money out of the system when you start having these big global events going on, just because they can have easier access to them. So DC Doge getting back to 50 cents by end of the year. I don't believe it's too late to have a rally in the market this year. It really just depends on obviously what's going on now with this whole situation, and then definitely next month with the Fed and these interest rate hikes. So we're gonna have to wait and see. It's too early to make that call right now. It's definitely too early. So but in my opinion, I just believe that we should give ourselves the opportunity here. This is what I've been saying. This is what, for those of you that follow me, that I'm a firm believer in giving yourselves the opportunity to get the best entries. So best entries, most profitable, you have the most options. So just be smart out there. I'll touch base with you guys in a little bit. I'm going to break these up so that they're not getting like lost or they're turning into like these long journals. I think people will appreciate that more. So anyway, do your own research. Don't follow don't get in trouble, because I hate to see people when they're panicked or when their portfolio is jacked up and they're going around to different Dogecoin pages like, oh my God, you guys are scamming, stuff like that. No. If you follow the Moon Boys and you got your portfolio jacked up, that's not on me. That's not on Dogecoin. I tell everybody my catalyst, what I believe, the macro, the micro. If something changes, I change it. I give the positive aspects and also the negative aspects, and you can make your own decision based off of the information. That's all I'm here. I just consider myself a source. So you have to, let's see here. Hold on, David, those are bad Bitcoin numbers. I watch all your videos, but you're wrong on that one, unless you're talking about the past. How do you figure I'm wrong on the Bitcoin numbers? See, I love this question here, these type of statements, because I think that, in my opinion, I just believe that there are just some misconceptions with where, if you feel free, I don't, was it D Nails wins? Yeah, feel free to respond. But when it comes down to these estimates as far as where the numbers on Bitcoin are coming from and stuff like that, we have to understand that the Bitcoin in itself, look at the numbers that it did this past year. Look at the crypto market, what that it's done this past year, 18 months. The stock market, where it's done this past year, 18 months. That's not our money. Like, if you think retail, if you think institutions and these big banks, stuff like that put their money into a lot of these, because crypto is still in its infancy stages, and it's still considered a riskier asset than the stock market or something like bonds and stuff like that. If you think that these institutions or even people are not going to want the access to their money, and they're not going to simply move their money around or start hedging immediately, if something were to escalate with everything that's going on with like Russia and Ukraine, they're going to. I'm not saying that they're not, like, Bitcoin is not going to rally or anything like that. I'm a firm believer Bitcoin is going to go into six figures, but I do believe that there will be a rebalancing of portfolios, even if it's in the short term, especially for these institutions that may have to cover a lot of these short positions and these margin accounts that they've been getting away with murder on for the last 12 to 18 months because money was so free and cheap. It may not even be just a choice that they want to liquidate some of these positions. They may simply have to, but that's a different conversation. That's something we can talk about. I'll probably go live tonight and do like just a Q&A. But again, I don't want to make videos. I don't want to make this video too long, but you will see big money definitely moves around, but we'll see. I love having conversations with people with different points of views than I do. So I'll touch base with you guys in a little bit, and I'll do a live like Q&A tonight. So I don't want to make this video too long. It's already like twice as long as I wanted it to be. So with that, I'll see you guys soon. Thanks.